Hi, nice to meet you all. I have had paralysis of sleep for many years, sometimes to the point of having many days in a row, and today I want to share an experience for all of you. About 2 years ago I came up with the idea that the entities of sleep paralysis were only fears that I did not know how to express and therefore I could resist them. I already had an escape system to wake up from paralysis if something went wrong, so I tried. I spent weeks forcing sleep paralysis and I saw that I could eventually resist that feeling of discomfort for a longer time until one day I thought maybe I could not only resist, but I could also eat those entities because they were my fears after all. I kept trying for a few months until one day I finally got it. I guess everyone knows what it feels like, that uncomfortable sensation that is like a chill but that stays for a long time. My idea was simple. In my mind I tried to imitate that and I imagined how what was in front of me was crushed and invaded. It took a long time. It could be said that it was a fight in which I tried to devour the entity and he tried to do the same with me. It was a man, or rather something like a shadow that had the shape of a man and was watching me from a corner, but was finally reduced to only fragment, something like a stone in the form of marquise that constantly changed colors. That stone floated over my chest and disappeared. What the hell was that thing? Maybe it was a way my brain tried to interpret overcoming my fears? Another visitor arrived. It was a girl, a lady and an old woman. There were 3 of them, but in reality they were the same. They spoke with 3 voices that seemed to come from different times. I listened the little girl as memories and the old woman as forebodings. I know, it sounds weird, it was much harder. I even thought that I would die, but they ended up becoming a stone just like the previous man. That stone floated over my chest and suddenly everything turned black. There was only something that looked like a paint with a tree over a hill. The tree seemed dead, but it had fruits and they were stars, and in the background there was only darkness and more stars, but behind that, I'm sure there was something, sleeping. The stones came into the painting and acted as keys. The paint seemed to get bigger until I was inside of it. My feet were touching the hill and my left hand touched the tree. Slowly I stretched my right hand towards the darkness and inside it marks appeared. They were like eyes that began to open and move. Whatever was behind the darkness had awakened. I was afraid. It was not the fear you have when you see something terrifying, but the fear you have when you face something superior. It was only a second, but it seemed like an eternity. As soon as he opened his eyes a little, I felt that everything that I was exposed to that thing. It had the shape of a lion? Or maybe a giant? Honestly, it seemed that it took so many forms until it finally became the darkness that resided in the painting, and each star in that sky became one of his eyes. A god? A demon? Maybe the representation of my id? I do not know, but he was only awake for a brief moment. I thought maybe if I kept hunting the beings inside my sleep paralysis I could wake him up again, but those things never came again. They had fear. Now, when I have an sleep paralysis I can only feel a force similar to the sea that seems to be the breathing of that thing, which is still sleeping inside that paint, but that is still there, waiting. Has something similar happened to someone here? Have any of you tried to devour the entities within your sleep paralysis? Or have you felt something like that? Please, English is not my native language, so I apologize in advance for any errors. This content was provided by Angela.